I've never raced before in my life, ever, in any way, shape, or form, except here at the Race of Gentlemen. Unbelievable experience.
Just go straight and try to go as fast as you can, and if you don't, it's all right. You know, if you don't win, it's all right.
Everybody is just focused on these two vehicles that are about to launch.
It's magical, like what happens out there, it really is.
You know, you're sitting there, you're waiting for the flag girl.
And at first, these guys and girls are pretty damn nervous about putting the pedal to the metal on a sandy beach.
You know, and you see the guys and they're just like, they're wide-eyed and they're just looking at the guy and they're just like, get ready to go. And once that flag goes down and they just gun it, it's just like...
It is pure joy, and it's like walking on sunshine.
You're fixed on that motion, like from there to there, and you know, and they're like, ah. It's like time travel. It's like a kid on Christmas morning. It's that feeling you had when you were young and you got like a new bag of marbles. You know what I mean? And you're like, wow, look at this crazy blue and pearl one, you know? It's just that, and I think it's primal. I think as Americans, we're born with that. We're born with that kind of audacity, that kind of crazy flamboyance to where we can like have these crazy, shiny, beautiful toys, you know, and we can like have fun with them.
It's something that you'll never see anywhere ever again. You know, it's totally one of a kind. It's like a scene from a movie.
Once you get past the freeway and you get closer to the boardwalk, you just start going back a decade and another decade, and then you get to the boardwalk and it's like you're back in the 50s, and then you get to the beach where you have 30s motorcycles and 30s cars. I mean, the ocean is probably as vintage and antique looking as it gets, so when you see all of the cars and the motorcycles and the year vintage and nostalgia that they are, with the ocean as the background, it is almost like a total time swap. Like you're totally back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and I think that that's what is so romantic about this event and what draws so many people, and then also so many racers.
We just have been enjoying the hell out of this. This is one of them things that it's got to be on. This has got to be on your bucket list.
Because you know, when you first get into cars, you don't even realize that guys were racing cars before roads existed.
If you are a car enthusiast, if you are a motorcycle enthusiast, if you're just a thrill seeker, this is the place to do it.
Hear ye, 5 minutes. Racer meeting.
It's hard to explain what the Race of Gentlemen is because it's not like anything else I've ever been to or experienced.
A joy that you don't get with anything else. They're not even going that fast. They don't have that much horsepower. It's not like watching top fuel drag races, you know. They go from 0 to 300 in a few seconds. It's almost more exciting, you know, to see these old-ass motors. You see these bodies like flapping and rattling, and you know, you can hear them rattling, and you know they're like about to come apart. There's just something almost more exciting than watching a rocket car go 700 miles an hour. When you get into a car hobby, there's like a progression, like from start to finish, right? So let's say you're young or old or whoever you get your first car, and I mean, it's like you're stoked, you're working on it, you go to car shows and you sit around and show it off. And you know, after years of that, it just starts getting like really boring. why are we just sitting around in a parking lot with our lawn chairs for a whole weekend, you know? And then you like look around, you seek out like something to do with your car, a reliability run, or you go drag racing. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, this is the greatest thing ever.
It's one hell of a good time, you know? It's electric when you're out on the beach. There's like an energy between the people.
You know, when do you get the chance to race on the beach? You don't.
Yeah, it's a love and passion. Yeah, there's no money involved. You know, you're not winning a huge purse. You're not getting a huge, tall trophy. You know, you're not getting a Rolex watch. It's not like you know, we don't even have milk or champagne to celebrate with you at the end, but we just do it out of the love for the sport and the love for the old cars and bikes.
America is the only country in the world that has done things like this. Racing's existed in Europe, you know, for decades and decades, even decades before America. But hot rodding is a completely American ingenuity.
Salvage what we can and cobble it together, and then try to go faster and faster. And you know, I think that's what attracts us to that World War II, you know, era of hot rodding.
It's important to see where we've come from, you know, mechanically and stuff like that, and to keep it old school, to keep it real. And that's one of the things that I loved about this, is that there are certain parameters that this vehicle has to be in where you don't race. And it's got to be approved by some, you know, some people that make sure it's authentic and, you know, and real.
We as crazy Americans have had that kind of can-do attitude long before we were born. I mean, our great-grandfathers had it. They built this entire country. So we have done things with cars, with design, with music, with just our general style that is so unique to America, and we're the ones who love it.
It makes no difference if it's a statue, a skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus, or a 32 Ford Roadster. They need to be saved, preserved, and with that said, there is something beautiful about taking this car and using it as it was intended.
I can see 5 knucklehead motorcycles, but the one that tells the best story, the one that, you know, was some weirdo's bike, and he, you know, hand-filed stuff, and he did all these weird little things to it, and you saw where something fell on it and it got dented, and you see the different layers of paint, you know, and they all kind of poke through. Like, that just tells a story. You can look at this inanimate object and it's telling you something, you know, and those are my favorite things about, you know, about motorcycling or automobiles. You know, it's learning about the people that had that machine before you. More people that aren't into bikes and cars come to this event and say, like, holy, this is like nothing we've ever seen.
We're trying to infect every single American.
It's incredible what the people, you know, what they get out of it, and then what they share with you. A pretty unbelievable event. It's rewarding to me. You know, it just keeps on giving.
Look at what we've done for the past 100 years. It's amazing, and let's celebrate it.